U.S. President Joe Biden touted billions of dollars worth of U.S. deals and investments in Africa at the three-day U.S.-Africa summit. VOA's White House correspondent Anita Powell has the full report.
President Joe Biden says he's serious about Africa's success and has a serious plan to get the continent on better footing.
Africa's economic transition depends on good government, healthy populations, and reliable and affordable energy. These things business seeks out when they're looking to invest. They attract new opportunities and they launch new partnerships. And the United States is committed to supporting every aspect of Africa's inclusive growth and creating the best possible environment for sustained commercial engagement between Africa companies and American companies. The United States is all in on Africa's future.
The second day of the three-day U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit focused on the one thing the U.S. has and that every African country needs: money. U.S. officials announced that they would give African nations $55 billion over the next 3 years, much of it directed toward health and climate projects. On Tuesday, Biden also announced an agreement between the U.S. and the new African Continental Free Trade Area, and a range of other bilateral agreements that he said would unlock economic growth in the world's fastest-growing continent. And he said the U.S. is taking this relationship online by working with Congress to invest about $350 million in what he called the digital transformation with Africa.
And this will include partnerships between African-American companies to provide cybersecurity services to make sure Africa's digital environment is reliable and secure.
The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations told VOA that U.S. assistance won't be affected by African nations' reluctance to condemn Russia and cut ties over its invasion of Ukraine.
We're not paying countries to vote for condemning Russia, and we're not threatening countries who decide not to vote. But we are appealing to them. We're appealing to their values. We're appealing to right versus wrong.
And the new Prime Minister of Lesotho, also the richest man in the tiny southern African nation, told VOA's Peter Claudy that African leaders also want to see a 10-year extension of the African Growth and Opportunities Act, which confers duty-free status on some African exports.
We have just negotiated this morning with the senators that we need to extend AGOA by 10 years because it's coming to an end in 2025. So we have already started negotiations in that part. AGOA is very, very, very important to us as a country.
The last summit that brought dozens of African leaders to Washington was 8 years ago. But administration officials say their commitment to the mother continent is as strong today as it ever was. Anita Powell, VOA News, Washington.